A few months ago, I was scrolling Instagram when I came across what I would consider to be one of the coolest things I've ever seen. A Game Boy Color turned into a digital camera. And no, I'm not talking about the Nintendo Game Boy camera from 1998, although that thing was sick. I mean a literal Game Boy camera with interchangeable lenses, a memory card slot, USB-C. Naturally, I immediately wanted to figure out how to make one of these for myself, but there was absolutely no information out there on how to do that. So I clicked on the profile and went down a rabbit hole. This is Hyro, self-proclaimed Game Boy doctor, and to be honest, he 100% earns that title. This dude has some of the most impressive and creative projects I've seen, and from what I can tell, the Game Boy camera was also his invention. Now, at first, I just attempted to reverse engineer the project, looking through old photos he had posted, trying to figure out what parts he had used. I spent days doing this, by the way, with little to no success. And then I realized, wait a minute, what if I just asked him? So I shot him a DM, crossed my fingers, and a couple days later, he actually responded. Not only that, he was so willing to help that I have now learned exactly how to make these things. But before I show you, there are 4 important things to know. Number 1, I did ask Hyro if I could make content on this, mostly because he had created this really cool, unique thing, and I didn't want to ruin the magic behind that and expose that process to the world. Thankfully, I got his blessing. 2, I had a self-imposed deadline for this. I had a trip coming up in July, and I really wanted it to be done by then so I could show it to my friends. 3, this project was not easy. Hyro himself described it as a 7 out of 10 on the difficulty scale for beginners, maybe a 5 out of 10 if you're experienced. So just keep that in mind as we're going through the project. Which brings us to number 4, and that's that Hyro actually sells fully built Game Boy cameras on their Instagram already. So if you watch this video and you decide you don't want to invest the time, money, effort, risk, whatever it is, please, please, please go and support them just by direct. They will be the first person linked in the description. I'd also just recommend following his page in general because, again, the projects are so sick. With that being said, this was my journey to building a Game Boy digital camera, and of course, how you can build one for yourself. For the materials, you're going to need pretty much everything as followed. All of this will be listed down in the description. Starting with a Game Boy Color. I bought an original junk Game Boy off Sendico, a Japanese auction site, but you can also just buy the shell, which is much, much cheaper. I'd actually recommend doing that. I just bought the OG Game Boy Color because I thought it'd be cool for the project. For the camera, we're using a cheap digital camera from AliExpress. These are actually described as entry-level kids cameras because they're truly nothing special, but they do have a front and a rear-facing camera. They're inexpensive, and most importantly, the internals fit inside the Game Boy. You'll need a replacement glass front screen for the Game Boy. This has to be glass. I'll explain why later. A custom Game Boy PCB from PCBWay. This part is the most made-to-order custom part of the project. I know it might seem a little intimidating, but it was my first time ordering from PCBWay as well, and it was super easy. The downside is depending on where you are in the world, shipping for these orders can be kind of pricey, so I ended up ordering 10 of these in one order just so I hopefully never have to do it again. The exact details of my order will also be down in the description. We're going to need a bigger battery as well as a USB-C module for charging that battery, a Game Boy Color cartridge. I actually ended up 3D printing mine because I didn't have one here at the studio, but I would recommend using a real one if you have it. I think it just adds to the whole effect. Game Boy speakers, you can use the ones that came with the camera, but these sound a little bit better and they fit in the case better, of course, because they're made for the Game Boy. Some wires, please get thin wires. Mine were way too thick and that came back to bite me later in the project. A voltmeter, a soldering iron, solder, electrical tape, super glue or hot glue. And then we have some nice to haves, either a heat gun or a solder sucker for desoldering. There's going to be a lot of that in this project, as well as a Dremel, some helping hands for holding components, and a few other accessories that we'll get to later in the video. So with all that being said, first things first, let's tear down the Game Boy. Turns out this is incredibly easy. You just need a tri-wing and a Phillips head. You start by using the tri-wing to remove the 6 outer screws. Then you can use the Phillips head to remove the final 3 screws holding down the motherboard, gently detach the ribbon cable and remove the motherboard from the shell, and finally remove the rest. We're also popping out the front screen because we're going to be replacing it with that glass one later on. The kids camera teardown is also pretty straightforward, just a little bit trickier. First, I'd recommend just testing the camera fully assembled to make sure everything works, and then you can begin by removing these 2 tiny screws on the side and open up the shell with a little bit of force. Here we're essentially just tearing out the internals in the most delicate way we can. So first, I started by removing all the screws holding components down on the inside, which was easy enough. I then worked on the camera front side first, removing the speaker, camera module, battery, front-facing flash. All this was super easy, to be honest. It just requires a little bit of force and patience, but everything pretty much essentially just pops out of place. From there, I unscrewed the remaining screws holding down the camera PCB and essentially just slowly worked it out of the case. Now, I actually didn't do this initially, but I would highly recommend just removing the ribbon cable from the front-facing camera, taking out the PCB, and then going and removing that front-facing camera later. It's just a bit tricky because it's sealed in and you have to break the plastic around it to get it out, and it's way easier to do that when it's isolated. Also, the ribbon cables are generally very very easy to remove. You just pull this latch down and the ribbon cable should pull right out. But when you're done with the teardown, this is everything that we're working with. The camera PCB, the screen, front and rear cameras, a speaker, a battery, and a flash if you choose to use it. I personally did not. With that, we've reached a good point where I want to explain how this is all going to work together, because in theory, it's pretty simple. More or less, we have the shell of the Game Boy, the internals of the camera, and the Game Boy PCB. The goal is to get the camera internals into the Game Boy, wire them up to the camera PCB, and then use the camera PCB to control the camera with the original buttons. How do we do that? I'm glad you asked. First, we need to figure out what inputs we actually need to wire from the camera to the Game Boy PCB. And this camera has 6 inputs that we really care about: up, down, left, right, the power button, and the shutter button. Pretty straightforward. To test where we can actually solder on the board, this is where the voltmeter comes in. When you look at the buttons, pretty much all of them have these 2 little sides to them. And to keep it simple, one side will be ground, one side will not. We are looking for the sides that aren't to solder to. The shutter button is the only different one. There's 4 little contact points as opposed to 2. Basically, 3 of them are going to be ground, 1 of them is not. The one that's not is the one you want to solder to. So to figure this out, you can set your voltmeter to the tone option, hold the black probe on the battery minus on the back of the camera PCB, and use the red probe to tap on either side of the button. If we get a tone, it's the ground side. If there's no tone, that's the side we want to solder to. You can blindly copy what I do in this video, but I would highly recommend checking these for yourself and writing them down. Once that is done, we have reached what I would consider to be the hardest part of this entire project, and the part that gave me by far the most headaches. There's a reason that I ended up needing not 1, not 2, but 3 of these cheap digital cameras to get this thing to work, okay? You see, once you determine where to solder everything, you now have to desolder the existing cameras and the USB-C port from the board. This is mostly because with everything still on it, the board won't fit in the case, or the buttons will get pressed down on and ruin your inputs. Now, for reference, I'd like to think of myself as pretty tech savvy, but I haven't done something like this in years, very out of soldering practice, so this was pretty intimidating for me, I'm not gonna lie. The short of it is you can desolder in a few different ways. You can use a heat gun and gently pull the components off. You can use solder wick, which is the most classic option, or instead of using the solder wick, you can use a solder sucker, which honestly I determined after this that I really need. And I will say, I think these boards being so cheap and fragile mixed with my lack of experience made this way more of a headache than it probably should have been. I had parts that were chipping off the board, contact pads that were coming off, and there are solutions to some of these problems. One of the things you can do is called a jumper, for example, which I won't get into in this video. But long story short, my advice with this section is to really take your time. These boards are delicate, go as slowly as you need to, and honestly, if anybody has any recommendations or help they can provide each other with in the comments, please go ahead and do that. That would be awesome. We can all help each other out. Anyway, long story short, after ruining 2 boards, I ended up leaving the buttons on for the 3rd board, which I ended up going back and removing later. But just for the sake of this video, so I could actually show a working product, I left them on there. I'm not proud of that, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Remember, we were on a timeline here. Anyway, once you've successfully removed everything from the board, congratulations, you're done with the hardest part. Now, it's time to get everything working. First of all, we're gonna wire up the new battery. For this, we needed to extend the battery wire length and also create a Y split. One end is gonna be leading to the USB-C module for charging and the other to the camera for power. Once the battery's done, it's time to wire the camera PCB to the Game Boy PCB. This part is pretty straightforward outside of the power button, which I'll get to in a minute. Just note that we're gonna be using the power button as the B button in the Game Boy. So remember all the pads we tested earlier? Well, now it's time to solder to them. So we're gonna do this for every single button outside of the power button, soldering one side to the camera PCB and the other side to the Game Boy PCB. I would recommend soldering the wires on top of the Game Boy PCB as opposed to under and through like I did. It just made it way harder for fitment later, which I shouldn't have done. Now, as you'll notice on the Game Boy PCB, you are gonna also need a ground wire. The camera buttons all share one connected ground, so you can actually just solder the ground from the Game Boy PCB to the camera PCB on any of those ones that beeped earlier. I chose the bottom button mostly just because it's the shortest distance and it was super easy to access. Now the B button is just a little different, mostly because it requires its own ground separate from the other buttons, but it's still super straightforward. We're gonna solder 2 wires to both contact pads on either side of the power button, and then we're going to solder the other end to essentially just a little pressure switch. So this switch essentially just becomes our new power button, and what we'll do is we'll put that under the B button later on, so when you press down on the B button, it just hits that switch later down. This way it feels like you're still using the B button, but in reality, you're just kind of using it as a relay to hit the real button underneath. Whew, okay, so we got everything wired up. we are now on to the fun part, which is assembly. First up, for the external battery to fit into the original Game Boy battery bay, you do need to cut out a little bit of plastic, but as you can see, once you do that, the battery actually sits in there very nicely. Then you can just feed the wires through the hole and position it for later. Next, I went ahead and positioned the screen. I did end up having to cut down a bit of the right side to get the screen to fit in nicely, but once you do that, it should slot right in. For the front-facing camera, you want to position it where you want to put it, and then essentially just drill a little hole through the case. I found that the camera module pinched nicely between the shell and the screen, and then you'll want to secure it down with something like hot glue. Now, I mentioned the glass screen from earlier. Do not make the same mistake I did. For the front glass, it's going to be covered in this sticky residue on the backside to obviously stick it to the Game Boy, but we need to make a little opening for the front camera to be able to see through. Now, what you should do is drill that front-facing camera hole, hold up the front glass, make a little mark, and then make the hole for it later, so that way it's perfectly lined up. I did not do this. I realized that too late after I sealed in the front-facing camera, so what I have is a really sloppily eyeballed front-facing hole. And this is also why the front panel has to be glass. If it was plastic, the front-facing camera would see through that, but it would be a little bit blurry, so with this, you get the best image quality. Okay, moving on to the rear camera. First of all, I tore it down to just the camera module itself because we're going to be modding this to use additional camera lenses later. For the fitment in the rear cartridge, I simply drilled a hole big enough for the camera module to fit in and super glued it in place. I then measured and cut a slit for the ribbon cable to feed through, closed up the cartridge, and you could stop there if you don't want to do additional lenses. Now, the main camera on the lens honestly works totally fine, but if you do want to do external lenses, I have two solutions for you. The first one is to order this cheap phone clip lens kit off Amazon. You can trim off the rounded part, glue that onto the back, and now you have a very simple interchangeable lens system. This is fine. It's what I used when I initially finished the project, but to be honest with you, the lenses don't really look great, probably because they're $10. So I decided to revisit this and I went full overkill. I have a lot of these Moment phone camera lenses, which use a pretty simple twist and lock mechanism. So I ended up 3D modeling a custom lens mount that allows you to now use the Moment lenses with the Game Boy. This top bracket was both to support the sheer weight and movement of the lens, as well as make it a little bit easier to glue to the cartridge. But I will of course leave this print file in the description, so feel free to use it as is or mess with it and modify it as much as you want. I just find it hilarious that we can now put an anamorphic lens on a Game Boy camera. And once that's done, we can finally start fitting in the main electronics. I found it easiest to first screw down the Game Boy PCB to the shell, get the USB-C module attached on the other side, and then work on the camera PCB fitment from there. Now, I was close, but I got a few things wrong with my first fitment attempt here. Don't worry, I actually have a photo of how Hyro does it to show you in a second. For starters, my wires, again, were way too big, so inserting the PCB was already causing a lot of pushback. The other thing you'll notice is that the camera PCB width is just too wide for this case. Well, in the moment, I stupidly decided that the best solution to this was to shave down a bit of the case where the PCB was hitting to close the actual Game Boy. This was wrong. After messaging Hyro about it, he actually informed me that you could just cut off a bit of the end of the PCB to make it fit in the case better. So unfortunately, I ruined the side of my Game Boy for no reason, but again, I was fully operating in the dark here, and I was also on a time crunch. This was the day before I was leaving for my New York trip. Hey guys, Editing Joe here. Now that that's out of the way, here is a photo of Hyro's internals. Obviously, it's much cleaner than my first attempt. He's also using much smaller wires like we discussed, as well as including the speaker, which is something that I didn't. Anyway, since you're probably using this as a build guide, I just wanted to show you what a good example looked like of the internals. Obviously, mine's kind of how to do it, but his is way better managed on the inside. So I'd recommend just going and pausing and looking at his when you're building your own. All right, back to other me. The other thing I couldn't figure out was how to fully close the case initially once I got everything positioned. The bottom screws were fine, but the top screws were actually blocked by the PCB. Well, again, Hyro informed me that you could actually just screw through the PCB on those ends and be totally fine, sort of. He did warn me that the left side was totally fine to drill through, but the right side is close to the mic, so you are at risk of damaging that. So if you want to be safe, you can just drill a hole on the left side and 90% of the Game Boy case still closes. If you want to be a little bit more risky, drill the right side as well. You just might damage the mic. My initial attempt of sealing the case without this knowledge was very rough. You can see that it's together, but it's not great. When I went back later and implemented Hyro's changes, it of course went much smoother. But with all that, the headaches, the failures, the long nights trying to figure out a project that truthfully fell way out of my depth, I managed to finish my very own Game Boy digital camera just in time for my New York trip, and man, it was so worth it.
Yo. Oh my god, dude. This is so sick. This is so cool. It's no FX3, but oh my god, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Dude, this is so sick.
How the heck did you shut up? Wait, no way. Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah, do you need one of these?
I actually do need one of these. So get in the lab, Joe. Get in the lab and make me one. I would like tea.
I have to say, this is by far one of my favorite projects I've ever worked on. Not only for the feeling of taking a junk Game Boy and reviving it, giving it new life, but also just the sense of pride and accomplishment I had completing this project. I will never forget the feeling I had putting that whole thing together and powering it on for the first time. I know it's been a while since my last video. Truthfully, I didn't expect this one to take as long as it did, but if you enjoyed it, maybe go check out a few others on the channel. And if you like those too, maybe consider subscribing. The goal of this channel has and always will be to just make tech more fun, regardless of what I'm talking about. So if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, we're happy to have you. If you watched all this and thought to yourself, man, I really want one of those, but I don't want to go through all the headaches he did, please, again, go check out Hyro's page. He sells these and they're probably way better made. I can't thank him enough for not only his willingness to help me along with this project, but also allow me to make content on it for you guys. And with that, thank you all for watching. I'll see you soon.
Spider-Man.